Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Travel Week webinars. My name is Megan Griffith, and I am the Marketing and Production Specialist here with Travel Week. Today, we have a very exciting webinar for you all, talking about Agencia Global, an innovative booking platform, and Air Transat, all about their destinations and the Air Transat experience. We're just going to go over some housekeeping items before I introduce our panelists today. If you'd like to say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from, or you're having any technical issues, please make sure to use the chat box function for that, and we'll be able to address that. If you have any questions you'd like to ask our panelists today, we will address them at the end of the presentation, so you can use the question and answer box function for that as well. And today we are giving away a super awesome prize of a $500 Visa gift card. So for agents who stay until the end of the webinar, you'll be entered to win, and we will contact you following the webinar. So now we're going to get started with introducing our two speakers today. We have Jimmy Stavropoulos from Agencia Global and Elysia from Air Transat. Hello, guys. Welcome today.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Elysia, if you'd like to take it away for your presentation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. I just wanted to come out here to talk to you a little about our brand, our products, our new destinations. A little fun fact about Transat: over the last 30 years, Transat has become the largest vertically integrated tourism company in Canada. We own a tour operator, an airline, a travel agency chain, and other business to support our model. We are extremely proud to have won once again in 2021, for the fourth time actually, World's Best Leisure Airline. All right, flexibility on flights. So for a limited time, both our economy and club class fare options have been revised to give our clients more flexibility. We are currently offering no change fees, allowing our passengers to change dates or destinations up to 24 hours prior to departure. I'm super excited about this. So we just launched our California destination for the summer. So we now offer direct flights 3 times a week, year-round, from Montreal to Los Angeles, and direct flights to San Francisco from Montreal 2 times a week, just for the summer season from May to October. All right, what's new with our destination? This year, we will offer more than 50 destinations, as well as a few more through our code-sharing agreements. This summer, Europe is calling with 12 beautiful countries to discover, including Western Europe, Mediterranean, and Central Europe, with our direct flights and connecting flights. For USA, we have a major increase in service, especially for Montreal this year, round trips. We also added round trips to Miami and obviously Los Angeles. And for the winter season, once again from Montreal, direct flights to New Orleans and Tampa. We also added more options to the south, from both Toronto and Montreal, and also Transat will be offering direct flights from 8 cities across the country, including Hamilton, London, Ottawa, Quebec, Moncton, Halifax. So we're super excited about this increase. So if we're talking a bit about code sharing, as of May 2022, Air Transat and WestJet, 2 of Canada's largest airlines, have implemented a code share agreement that allows customers to book transatlantic travels combining both carriers on a single ticket. Our biggest advantages are that we have now access to an extended network, and also we just book one single booking and check-in. But most importantly, we offer that protection in case of a flight delay or cancellation. Just to name a few, these are the routes available with the connection. So 3 Canadian gateways available with a connection via Montreal, and 13 available from Toronto. And for the United States, we started off small. We're offering Boston and New York. It is now possible to pre-order our meals up to 72 hours prior to departure. The 4 meals on the top are exclusively for pre-orders only, and the bottom 4 are available for pre-order, or you could just order them during your flights. Economy class. Our economy class offers bistro and box lunches available at an extra cost. Um, Something that's really stands out is the four-way headrest on the Airbus aircraft and the duty-free service. All right. So as mentioned before, we have revised the level of flexibility in case of change or cancellation for budget and standard fares. We now have a $200 cancellation fee. Previously, cancellations were not permitted. So this is a plus. And on our Eco Flex, it remains full refund up to 24 hours prior to departure. Club class. So this is our hidden gem. Passengers really enjoy the following benefits. The exclusive dedicated cabin, the more spacious and larger reclinable seats and pillow, 2 pieces of checked baggage of 23 kilos, exclusive check-in at the club class counter, priority queue, priority boarding and baggage handling, the comfort kit, and of course, the choice of 2 gourmet meals that are served with a salad, dessert, and beverage, our selection of great wines, and the complimentary beer, wine, or snacks. Now, this is a little bit different. We are now offering 2 club class fares, so that the club standard and the club flex. They both have the same benefits. So you still have the 2 times 23 kilos for the check bags, the seat selection, the meals, everything stays the same, except for the cancellation fees. So if we look at the club standard, your fee would be $200 for a cancellation, and refunds in any case for the club flex. All right, the train and air. So we launched that a couple of years ago. So we are offering the service that combines the plane and train, and that allows passengers to travel to 18 cities in France and Brussels. It's one booking, one rate for air and railway travel. In case of a delay, seats are automatically available for the next flight or the train. So passengers could actually travel with that peace of mind. I personally love the Transat app. It allows us to save our booking details, add in flight services, obtain boarding passes, and travel documents. We could also check your flight statuses and much more. So it's very important to download that prior to departure. The Blue Box in-flight entertainment. So this is available on our Airbus's A321 CO aircraft. You can now choose a movie, a TV show, games on your phone, tablets, or laptops, and there's no download needed prior to departure. And if we're looking at the Airbus A300, or A321 LR, they still feature individual screens, which is amazing. This is also one of my favorites. It's the Kids Club. So it's offered to children aged 2 to 11. And children receive a member's kit with tons of good travel goodies, free seat selection, onboard surprises, and priority services also at the airport. And to become a member, it is really, really important to fill up our form online, or you can call the 1-800-387-2672 number. But if you don't sign up the child for the services, it won't be available for them to do so once during their flight. Also, something that's very interesting is the family privileges. So for a family for a booking that has 5 passengers or less, the free standard seat selection, I should say, will be assigned automatically in our system about roughly 4 days after the booking has been made. Families that consist of 6 people or more, they must call the call center for them to assign their seats. And once again, it will be the standard seats. In any case, if they choose a different seat, a preferred seat, it would be at an additional cost as well. Option Plus, I also love Option Plus. You have your complimentary standard seat selection offer up to 24 hours prior to departure, your 1 additional piece of checked baggage, your check-in at an exclusive counter, your priority queue, again, your priority baggage handling, a comfort kit, your earbuds, and a selection of drinks, meals, or treats from the Bistro menu. So I would just want to let you know that our fares have changed for the checked bags as well as the seat selections. So you could have a quick look at the prices, whether it's for eco budget or standard. But as of the 27th of April, they have changed. So it would be better to refer to our website for all your price grids. Same thing for seat selection. Seating plans. Our fleets consist of 6 different models. Our newest, the Airbus 321 Neo LR, our Airbus 321-200, and of course our 330s, whether it's a 300 or 200, all having club class seats except for the A321-200. All right, so let's meet our newest Airbus 321 Neo LR. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a gorgeous aircraft, a greenest in its class, more space in economy class, 50% less cabin noise, and state-of-the-art in-flight entertainment with larger individual screens. And also the club class seats have more space. So 199 seats in total, including the 12 in club class. All right, so this is the COVID-19 government measures. Effective as of April 1st, fully vaccinated travel will no longer need to provide a pre-entry COVID test result to enter Canada. But very, very important, I recommend that each traveler or agent, they just go on our website under the practical guide and just enter your dates and destination, and it'll give you all your requirements. I'm not sure if anybody's aware of the Agent Direct portal. It's you have all the useful tools. So it's all the learning center, get connected, mailing list, Facebook, and more. And I particularly love this because we have the most up-to-date flight schedules. I want to thank you all for your time and for your support. Wishing you all a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, please feel free at the end of this presentation, ask away. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Elysia. That was really great, really informative. Now we'll pass it over to Jimmy, if you can take it away.
So, hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. As Meg mentioned, my name is Jimmy. I'm the Director of Sales over at Agencia Global. And now that Elysia has given you an idea of, what's up and coming with Transat, and I'm sure you look forward to booking them, I wanted to take some time to show you why it would be worth to book them specifically on Agencia Global. So I'm just going to share my screen. Will not be long. Let's see here.
I'm just going to stop sharing here.
All right. And Meg, can you see my screen? It's up.
Ready?
Yeah, perfect. So making a booking on Agencia Global is very easy. It's a 3-page process. We always tell our new agents, if you're able to book your own ticket on an OTA, then you're able to make money booking someone else's ticket for them on Agencia Global. So when you log in, you get to our homepage right over here. So you can proceed immediately to booking a flight or a car rental. Bookings requiring attention. If any of your bookings have been flagged for schedule change or potential fraud check, if you've saved any quotes and want to access them, this is where they would show up. And we would encourage you to keep an eye on the Agencia Global news section. One of the things we love to do with our airline partners is secure as many exclusive tactical promotions as possible to make sure we're maximizing the value you receive per booking. So every so often, we're going to work with our airline partners to devise promotions for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, depending on the carrier and the destination region we're focusing on right now. So in the case of Air Transat, Elysia was gracious enough to provide us with a bonus for the next 2 weeks. So anybody who is looking to take advantage of booking those California routes that she was talking about will earn a $10 bonus commission on all Air Transat tickets, originating in Canada with destination Los Angeles and San Francisco. And that does apply to both published and net fares. So on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at what the booking process is like. So this is your homepage. Basically, the search page is very simple. You would just enter your origin, destination, your travel dates, number of passengers. You could provide the breakdown by adults, children, infants on lap, and on seat. And then you could also isolate the cabin class if you'd like, and also ask Agencia to isolate those nonstop flights for you. And you could even isolate preferred carrier if you just want the search to run a bit quicker. So let's say you're only interested in those Transat fares, just enter Transat right there, click it, and you'll be shot over to the search results page a lot quicker, since it'll only run through the GDS looking for those Air Transat fares. You could also book, obviously, a one-way or a multi-ticket itinerary, multi-ticket allowing for up to 5 city pairs for the time being. And what I also want to draw your attention to right over here is this is not just a currency display selector, but it's actually a point of sale selector. So at Agencia Global, we work with over 150 airlines in both Canada and the US, and we've secured very aggressive time of ticketing commissions and net fares for both point of sale Canada and USA. So if, for example, you're located in Windsor and you're looking to book out of Detroit, if you're located in Vancouver and want to book out of Seattle, and so on, please do feel free to click on USD right over here and take advantage of those time of ticketing commissions and net fares that we've secured out of US gateways, which, depending on the airline, may not be available as a point of sale Canada sale. So definitely please keep an eye out for this. Generally, as long as you line up the point of sale with your point of origin, so in this case, obviously, it would make more sense to select point of sale Canada since we're looking at Montreal to LAX. Make sure to click that, but just, keep an eye out. And if you are going to book out of Detroit or Seattle or Plattsburgh or anything to that effect, just click on USD right over there. So once you've entered your origin, destination, and travel dates, you would simply click on search flights. So I've kind of set up all the windows so you don't have to wait for it to get to the results page and wait that 20 to 30 seconds as it's loading through the GDS. So once you get to the results page, this is what it'll look like. So it'll recap the search parameters we entered on the previous page. So in this case here, we're looking at Montreal to LAX, September 12th to 21st for 5 adults. The first thing you're going to see is our carrier matrix. So what we do here is give you a very high level idea of where all airlines stand in terms of lowest available price. And then we organize that by number of stops. So you've got your direct stops, 1-stop and 2-stop itineraries. The lowest overall price will be displayed in green, and then the lowest price of the other 2 rows will be highlighted in blue. So in this case, right over here, by the way, the prices seem so high because this is the price for 5 adults, including taxes, so that's not a per pax price. So right here, you could see right away that for just over $20 a person, you could fly direct with Air Transat to LAX and avoid that connection with AA. So again, this is just to give you a really high-level idea of where everybody stands. Where the actual fare selection would take place is right here at the bottom. So we've organized all our airline partners in ascending order of price. So what we're looking at from left to right over here is, if you see a little blue line next to the carrier, that means that there are branded fares available. Then you've got your validating carrier, your fare type, so published or net fare, your RBD, your price per pax. When you hover over that, it'll show you the breakdown between base fare and taxes. The reason we do that for you is usually in the case of marking up net fares, the markup rules correspond to a certain percentage of that base fare. So obviously, in the case of $1,000 fare, you'd rather see a $900 base with $100 of taxes rather than the other way around. Then you've got your total price per pax. If you click right over here, we're going to redirect you to the airline's website for their baggage policy. So in the case of an update on the airline side, you don't have to worry if Agencia has the most up-to-date information. We don't shy away from linking you straight to our airline partners' websites. And then just to rewind a bit, in the case of a flexible traveler, we have our flexible day matrix right over here. So what we do with every search is we add and subtract 3 days from both the outbound and the inbound date. The price corresponding to the date range that you selected on the search page will always be right here in the middle, highlighted in gray. So that's that $29.39 that you're looking at. Anything highlighted in green is less expensive than the price for the date combination you selected. And then anything specifically in dark green is the lowest price. Now, you'll also note when I hover over my flexible day matrix, we highlight both the row and the column of each cell you're hovering over just to make it easier on the eyes if you want to see different date combinations. And then also my mouse turns into a little finger pointer. That's because all these prices are hyperlinked. So let's say, for example, you do have a customer who says, you know what, I am willing to go from the 14th to the 23rd, for example. What's that 2822 all about? You would just click on that price, and the search is going to rerun with the same PAX count, same origin destination, but just the travel dates will be modified to the 14th to the 23rd. So you'll also note that, we do have a bunch of selections right over here. The prices are relatively close to each other. So, other than number of stops, how else could you filter down these flights? So we have, if you click right over here, a couple of selections. So let's say, for example, you're not interested in a 2-stop itinerary. You'll note here in the flight duration that we've got 11 hours round trip direct flights, but ranging all the way up to 59 hours. No one's going to take a 59-hour itinerary from Montreal LAX round trip. So you could actually just slide that down and say, for example, I'm willing to accept an average of, an hour per connection, for example. So you could say, okay, we're going to filter that down to 13 hours. You could even remove a couple of carriers. We don't like to isolate any carriers for removal on our demo. So let's just say we're not interested in a multi-airline itinerary. And then, we had a bad experience connecting through Chicago once upon a time, so we'll get rid of Chicago. Once we click on Apply Filters, you'll note that these results will filter down significantly. And now we're only looking at one-stop itineraries with a total round trip time of 13 hours or less. So once you've filtered that down to itineraries that meet your search criteria, then you could go ahead and select the flight. So if you click on View Flights, you'll be presented with the itineraries that the airline has to offer. So in this case, Air Transat has one itinerary combination. In the case of some other carriers, like United here, for example, you'll see that you have a couple of outbound and a couple of inbound, albeit for more expensive than Air Transat's direct fare. So what you're looking at here from left to right, you've got your number of seats remaining, your flight number, your RBD, your segment OD, departure and arrival times, flight duration. If you click on the little blue eye here, you'll get a pop-up that'll just auto-pull information straight from the GDS and give you the airline's fare rules. So here you go. Same concept as the luggage policy. We're going to pull that information straight from the GDS. With the luggage policy, we send you straight to the airline. We want to make sure that there's no human error on our end when it comes to loading information. So if the airline updates their luggage policy or their fare rules on their website or in Amadeus, respectively, then you can rest assured that the information you're getting on Agencia is up to date. I'd like to apologize for my voice as a side note. I'm a little under the weather today, so bear with me if I'm sounding a little nasally. Now, once you select both your outbound and your inbound flight, you'll see that you actually get fare families also that are available. So you could pick between your eco budget fare and your standard fare. In this case, let's say they want to travel on the eco budget, then you're good to go. You would just simply click on book. And that's where Agencia would take about 30 seconds once again before shooting you to this page right over here as it confirms seat availability. Once you get to your results page, you'll have your itinerary recap. So same concept as the top of the second page, where we recap the search criteria you selected. At the top of the third page, we're going to recap the flight information you selected just to make sure there are no mistakes. So here's your full itinerary. You've got a recap of what the fare family entails. At that point, you could proceed to entering your passenger information, which obviously here I'm not going to insult your intelligence and show you how to fill out a form. We do offer travel insurance if you don't already have a travel insurance provider. We do for point of sale Canada for the time being, not yet for point of sale US. But let's say, for example, you did want to make some extra money by selling insurance. We make it very simple for you. So let's say, for example, you wanted to select the global all-inclusive travel protection. Once you select that from the drop-down menu, it'll show you exactly what the coverage entails, what the total price is, and then just kind of to make your sales pitch a bit easier, because $1,000 could sound like an intimidating number. We prepare this number for you right here, so you could just tell them straight up, hey, for $18 per person per day, this is what you've got covered. If you do manage to sell insurance from time to time, there's a heck of a payout in it for you. So in this case here, for example, on a plan of $1,003 inclusive of taxes, you stand to make $405. Now, let's just go with no coverage so we can move on with booking the airfare specifically. Now, in your price breakdown section, this is where at Agencia we've, aside from trying to offer you the best possible value in terms of commissions, net fares, and bonus commissions, this is where we've tried to separate ourselves from other consolidators in the market in terms of the value we could help bring to your booking. So in this case here, we are booking a net fare. If we want to know how much we're allowed to mark up that fare by, we would just hover over the agency markup section right over here, and we'll see that there's two numbers. You've got the max that Air Transat is going to allow for on their merchant account, which is $562.50. Long story short, that's 25% of the base fare, which is a pretty standard rule in the industry. But you'll also note that we have the maximum agency markup, the maximum that we will allow you to mark up, which is $4,500. So we actually allow you to mark up by up to double the base fare. So we'll get to that shortly. But let's say, for example, we just want to, apply the full 25% markup, and we go with that $562.50. We would just enter it right over there. We could see now in our agency payout section, we've got our markup of $562.50. Your price per pax right over here is broken down by base fare, taxes. If you hover over the little question mark, it'll show you what that breakdown of the taxes is. For your subtotal, your markup per pax, so that's at $562.50 divided by 5 right over here. Service fees, of which there are none right now, and your grand total per pax, as well as for all right here at the bottom. Now, if this is what you've agreed to with your customer, fantastic. You know you stand to make your $562.50. You could proceed to collecting payment. But let's say, for example, you're working with another wholesaler for your hotels, and you get fantastic deals on hotels in LA, but you want to offer everything as a package price. Or let's say you have connections with, companies who could offer limo service to and from the airport, some sightseeing tours. This is a promotion now for LAX and SFO. So let's say for San Francisco, you want to offer tours to Alcatraz or the Redwoods or anything to that effect. We'll allow you to charge one package price on Agencia. So let's say, for example, you've used another system for some sightseeing, for hotel fare and all that stuff, and let's say the total cost of that is another, let's call it $1,500 total. So instead of $562, that would make it $2,062 total markup. Now you'll see here the base fare, the taxes, the subtotal remain unaffected. The markup per passenger has changed. You'll see your service fee right over here and your new total. Why is there a service fee? Basically, any markup over and above what our airline partners allow for goes onto our merchant account. So we charge that 3% service fee just basically to offset the costs that we incur by using our merchant account. Now, that said, we want to make sure that you could offer a package price without having to divulge how much you charge for airfare and how much you charge for the rest. And when we run webinars such as the one we're running, we always ask agents who attend to kind of give us their feedback, not only on what they think of Agencia as a tool, but we're very open to hearing what you have to say as a travel agent on what's causing you headaches in your day-to-day as a travel agent that no other consolidator on the market has solved. And the feature I'm about to show you was developed thanks to feedback we got on a webinar. And that feedback was basically that agents were tired of having to explain two separate line items on a customer's credit card for what they presented as a package price. So the reality of their situation was sometimes they would shy away from offering value-added services or just basically marking up the fare to the amount they thought they could sell it for, just because they wanted to avoid the headache of a call after the fact giving them the third degree on, for example, what this $1,500 charge was for and how much less would it cost if they removed the hotel from the equation and they booked it themselves, and so on. So we actually came up with a solution for that. And you'll note right over here in the pricing strategy section, lowest price is selected by default. So what we mean by lowest price is if you want to charge this markup of $2,062.50, the lowest price you could charge on Agencia is $5,164, but the customer is going to see two charges on their credit card, the $3,600 here from Air Transat and the $1,500 from Agencia Global. Now, if you believe you could charge a bit more, and the price should go up by approximately $125 or so, you could select single charge. That $5,164 is going to go up to $5,285. The reason for that being, now you'll note, we've removed the charge from Air Transat's merchant account altogether and forced the entirety of the transaction on our merchant account. So that 3% that I mentioned earlier on the incremental markup now applies to the entirety of the fare. So Here, rather than getting a phone call of what's this separate charge and how much was this for, what if I remove the hotel and, book it myself on booking.com and so on, the only question you would get here is, hey, I booked an Air Transat fare at ABC Travel. Why am I seeing Agencia Global on my credit card statement? And that's really easy to explain, right? We're your consolidator. We fulfill the tickets for you. You use our merchant account, basically. Now, if you had agreed on that 51.60-ish price, then by all means, you could take your markup and bring it back down. So let's say 1940-ish, and then you'll be right back around that 51.60 area. So it's up to you on how you want to play it. If you think you could charge a bit more to absorb, to have the entirety of the cost be absorbed in the total fare, or if you'd like to adjust your markup accordingly, that's completely up to you. But just know that if you do want to mark up by more than the airline allows for, then please feel free to use this feature. Now, this isn't just for value-added services, but if anyone on the call does book, a lot of domestic Canada, a lot of domestic US, you know that the incentives on a domestic Canada or a domestic US are nowhere near what, a transborder or an international ticket would be. Especially in the case of domestic US, there's basically nothing. It's just a service you're offering for free in case that customer ever wants to book an international ticket with you. So for those domestic published fares, for example, feel free to add a markup and use the single charge feature. This feature is not exclusive to net fares. You can use it as published fares the same way you could use it on net fares. Anyhow, so now let's say you've agreed with your 5 customers right over here on a total price of $51.60.41. You think you're ready to go, but unfortunately, all 5 of them each take out their respective credit cards, and now all of a sudden you come to the realization that you got to go to the beginning and book 5 separate PNRs for 5 people traveling together just because they each want to use their own credit cards. So that was another issue we heard about a lot when we run these webinars, and we developed a tool to help you with that issue as well. So when you move to the payment section, you'll note that single payment is selected by default. So if one person is paying with their card, then by all means, you could select single payment, enter their payment info, agree to the terms and conditions, hit book and pay, and you're off to the races. That said, if everybody does want to use their respective credit card, then feel free to select multiple payments, at which point you'll get a drop-down menu showing up asking you how many credit cards you want to use. It'll allow you to use as many credit cards as there are passengers. So let's say you've got these 5 passengers right over here. They're each using their 5 cards. You'll note now the payment info section is grayed out. It's asking you to assign passengers to their credit cards. So we've created a very simple drag and drop system. Grab your customers, move them to their respective credit cards. Once you've done that, this area opens up again, and on card 2 you've got Cordia over here. Card 2 you could say, hey, Jimmy's paying for that one. Card 3, Elysia, and so on. So you could actually enter everyone's credit card info. Once you're done that, once again, agree to the terms and conditions, hit book and pay, and you're good to go. Now, in the case of, let's say this is 2 couples traveling together, one of which has a kid, great. You could select 2 cards, have 3 on one, 2 on the other. Here's the price for card 1, here's the price for card 2, and once again, they're all on the same PNR. In the case of a schedule change, to which none of us are strangers these days, you've only got 1 PNR to worry about rather than 2 in this case, or 5 in this case, for example. So once again, this was developed thanks to agent feedback on a webinar. So again, in your day-to-day right now, if you're facing headaches that your current consolidator hasn't solved for you, and you kind of wish somebody would hear you out, let us know. We'd love to see how we could improve our tool to make your life as an agent easier. So on that note, I'm just going to move back to single payment just because my demo account here is set up only to recognize 1 fake credit card number. So anybody trying to take note over here, no shopping sprees, it is a fake number. But you would just simply click that you agree to the terms and conditions, hit book and pay, and then at that point you're looking at about a 45 to 60 second wait as the reservation is made. When you get to the confirmation page, you'll be provided with a 9-digit Agencia Global confirmation number, as well as the airline PNR. You'll be able to download your invoice and your itinerary as PDFs, so you can either print them out and hand them to your customers, or email them their documents directly, and you'll receive your tickets by email within 1 to 2 hours of the booking. So that's pretty much it for the booking process. Hopefully you liked what you saw. Here's the booking confirmation page that I was mentioning. So again, I'm using a demo account now, which is why you're seeing test booking over here. But here's your confirmation number. If you have any questions, I believe Meg already has our email and phone number up on the screen for you to see, but you could also live chat with us right over here. Once again, your itinerary and your fare family details are recapped. If you want to download either your itinerary or your invoice, you would just click right over there and they download as PDFs. If anyone's tuning in from Québec, Agencia est disponible évidemment en français aussi. On est une compagnie québécoise, alors vos documents seront disponibles pour télécharger en français aussi. So to give you an idea of what those documents look like, here is your invoice. So right now we just have, our agencies or our agency's info up here, Voyage à la carte / Agencia Global, with some random information over here. But if you're at ABC Travel and you've set up your account with your address and phone number, then your invoices will be personalized under the name of your agency. And then just take note right over here for the fare breakdown section on the invoice. You'll notice that you're seeing no service fees and no markup. The entirety of that markup that you added by using the single charge feature has been pushed into the base fare. So you really are offering one global base fare, tax, and grand total number right over here. Now we'll just close that up. And the itinerary looks something like this as well. So once again, your agency's info would show over here. We do encourage you to send these by email to your customer because we do have some live links over here. So if they click right over here, they'll be redirected to Air Transat's check-in page. And then in the case of travel to countries for which they're unsure if there are any visa requirements, we have live links here to the Visa HQ website. So that'll allow you to just look up the country and see what visa requirements there are, if any. So that's pretty much it for the booking process. On one final note, I'm just going to log out here and show you if you go to www.agenciaglobal.com, this is where you'll land. If you like what you saw and would like to work with us, please feel free to register by clicking right over here. We ask for your business name and email, some form of accreditation, any of these that you're seeing right over here, your company's contact information, and then the name of a master agent. So a master agent basically, for lack of a better term, could be the account owner, for example. So they could add sub-agents under them. The master agent will be able to look through everyone's bookings, will have access to commission statements, will be able to see everyone's quotes, and will be able to add new agents as they see fit, whereas regular agents will have access only to their information, so their quotes, their bookings. They won't be able to modify agency information or access commission statements. Now, if you like what you saw and would like to learn more, because I know I kind of zoomed through this, if you would like a one-on-one webinar, please feel free to reach out to us at the contact information that Meg has on the screen, and it'll be our pleasure to set up a one-on-one webinar to go through things more in detail with you. So Meg, on that note, that's pretty much it for me. I guess we're good to move to the Q&A.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much for walking us through all of that. Agents have a lot of questions, but I'm sure they were really happy to see all that as well. Can you see the contact pages as well shared on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So the first question, which I feel like you kind of just debunked, showing the login process, but the login for Agencia would be separate from the login from Transat. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. One question we have is, what would be the advantage of booking with Agencia over booking directly through the airline?
Well, in our case, we could accept multiple credit cards on one PNR, as I just mentioned. You could hide your markup, as I showed as well. Oh, I see a clarification. I mean engine or that might apply to another question, sorry. But yeah, hey, we don't want to discourage you from booking with our airline partners, right? We're here to work together. I guess if I'm speaking for Agencia specifically, you have access to commissions and net fares with over 150 airlines in both Canada and the US. It's a very user-friendly booking platform. If you're booking directly with the airline, I would assume you'd have to secure a direct agreement with them if you do want any net fares and commissions, which I guess Elysia could speak to, but I don't think just any agency with any volume can get. And we're always looking to innovate even more. So, you know, what's in it for you? tell us what would make your life easier as an agent, and we'll try to bring that to the platform. Just if I could add to that, something I forgot to mention during the presentation, it costs nothing to work with Agencia. So there's no registration fees, there's no booking fees, there's no monthly fees. We share 100% of our time of ticketing incentives with our travel agency partners. So in the case of Air Transat, there's a 5% commission on most of their fare families. You would be entitled to the full 5%. You're not going to get 4.5, 4.75. You'd get the entirety of that 5%. In the case of net fares, whatever the airline files for us in the GDS is exactly what shows up in Agencia. So we don't mark those up. A $500 net will show up at 500 and not 505 or anything to that effect. And finally, as kind of mentioned in the beginning of the presentation here in the Agencia Global News section, look, be it today, last week, the week before, we're constantly trying to develop exclusive tactical commission programs with our airline partners. So, if you do sell a lot of one airline, one specific destination, and you're kind of working with a consolidator who gives you kind of like a one-size-fits-all, type of commission structure, but you're looking for someone who could really help you make more money because 80% of your bookings are focused on one destination. I love working on stuff like that with our airline partners. So feel free to reach out, and maybe Agencia could help you make more on your existing bookings.
Great. Thank you for that. Another person has a clarification question just about if an agent adds a markup that's under the airline parameters, does that not show up on the client's credit card?
So if it's under what the airline allows for, it will be a single charge on the airline's merchant account. So no, they wouldn't have two separate charges. But on the invoice, you would see your markup as a service fee. So then it's up to you if you want to use that auto-generated invoice that Agencia prepares, in which case it would show the markup. Or if you already have a software that creates your own invoices, then use that and you don't have to divulge your markup. The only time Agencia is going to incorporate the markup into the base fare is when you use the single charge feature and the entirety of the charge goes on our merchant account.
Okay, that sounds great. Elysia, we have some questions for you. Would you be able to just quickly re-explain the code share that you talked about earlier in the presentation?
Of course. Okay, do you want to know about the destinations or?
I think just a general sort of overview.
Not a problem. So basically, for example, we offer many connecting flights, whether it's via Vancouver, via Montreal, via Toronto. So for this one here, we're really trying to extend our network of transatlantic routes. So really to get our gateways out west. So in this case, for example, more out of Halifax, more out of Vancouver, more out of Edmonton, a bit everywhere. And what's really exciting about this is that passengers, even though it's WestJet and Transat working together, it's just one single booking and one single check-in. And the clients don't have to worry about if I missed my flight or my flight is delayed. We offer that protection as well in case of delayed or cancellation flights.
Okay, that's great. Someone wanted to ask about Air Transat brochures this year. Will they be expecting to see that?
I represent the airline, so from our side, the airline, we do not offer brochures. And if ever we do make some kind of corporate small little brochure, it will be directly posted on the Agent Direct portal.
Okay, that's great. And one other question was, how are refunds given? Are they given back in voucher or back to the credit card?
Sure. If you're referring to our new flexibility for all bookings issued after April 21st, so the client will have that $200 fee, and the rest is refunded on the credit card.
Okay, great. Thank you. And a couple of questions for Jimmy again. What is the max you can add to nets? One of our agents is asking.
So if you're looking just to add on the airline's merchant account, and that varies by airline. So some won't allow any markup. Others will allow up to 25% of the base fare, and others will allow you to mark up to the published fare. If you're talking about using the single charge and using our merchant account, will allow you to add up to double the base fare. So in the case of the last ticket that I showed during the demonstration process, the base fare was $22.50. You could add a total markup of $4,500 on that ticket. So it's basically unlimited markup, because let's face it, if you could add more than double your base fare to every booking, you're in the wrong line of business, and you should be selling fine art or super high-end real estate. But if ever you do have any one-off cases where you do want to add even more, then feel free to reach out to us, and it's a matter of just adjusting a few parameters. We could do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that looks like most of the questions covered. A lot of them may just be, mentioned in the webinar. We don't want to have you repeating all the same stuff today. So thank you both so much, Elysia and Jimmy, for coming on today and talking with all of the agents. I guess I can leave you both with just a final word, encouraging them to book with you, sign up with you, and then I'll let you go for the day.
Sure. Before we get to the goodbyes, Meg, I was just kind of scrolling through the chat to see if anyone had put questions there instead of in the Q&A specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, and I see there were 2 people who mentioned host agencies. So one just simply saying, need my host agency to be on Agencia, and the other, how do you work with host agencies? Basically, it depends on the host agency. So if you want us to be added there, then by all means, feel free to reach out to us, contact@agenciaglobal.com. Tell us who your host agency is. And if you're okay with us kind of reaching out and saying, so-and-so referred us to you, they attended our webinar, would like to use us, and we could kind of iron out the details with them and see if we could become a recommended or preferred vendor with them. But we're always looking to expand our B2B contacts in the host agency space. So please do reach out to us about that.
Great.
And on that note, after that, once again, just wanted to say thank you very much to everyone who took the time to attend. Thank you, Elysia. Very informative presentation. I see on our end, our California business with you is already rocking and rolling, and it's barely been launched. So I look forward to our mutual success on that. And Meg, as always, thank you very much for a very well organized webinar. And that's it for me. And thank you as well, everyone, for putting up with my nasally voice today. It wasn't expected to be under the weather.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Jimmy and Meg.
All right. Well, thank you as well, both of you, and to agents for tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned with upcoming Travel Week webinars and all the latest information you can get on news for the travel trade. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.